The craziest injury comebacks in football history. A serious injury doesn't have to mean the end of a football career, and some players have shown over the last 20 years that even the greatest medical adversity can still be overcome to succeed at the highest level. With a will to win, some of these stars have come back from significant injuries to once again dominate their sport. Their tenacious outlook is one that any person in any walk of life can use when going through such challenges. So, here are the top 10 craziest injury comebacks in football history. Number 10. Nwankwo Kanu. Nwankwo Kanu, a Nigerian great and Premier League favourite, survived a major heart defect diagnosed at the age of 20, just after leading his country to Olympic gold in Atlanta, and went on to have a long, successful and diversified career. Kanu, who had just signed with the Italian club Inter, had open heart surgery in November 1996 to repair an aortic valve. 6 months later, he returned to action, and while things never quite worked out in Italy, the big forward was an instant hit after joining Arsenal. In 1999, he was awarded African Footballer of the Year by both the BBC and the CAF, and he scored a memorable hat-trick for Arsenal against Chelsea. Kanu later joined West Brom and scored the game-winning goal in the 2008 FA Cup final during his time at Portsmouth. Number 9. Iniesta. Iniesta ruptured his right hamstring during a match between Vissel Kobe and Suwon Blue Wings in the Asian Champions League quarter-finals. He then went back to Barcelona for surgery. After the injury, he was back with full force. He is termed one of the greatest players in history at the subtle art of pressuring opponents in a crowded midfield. He would receive the ball with his back to his marker, but instead of swiftly sending it back or sideways, as most midfielders do to avoid losing possession in hazardous places, he would find a way to spin around, get rid of his opponent and break the first line of defense. He did it all with a high rate of success and style. Number 8. Puyol. Puyol had a devastating elbow dislocation in his first game back from that knee injury against Benfica and was anticipated to be out for 2 months. There was speculation that an injury-plagued season like that may force him to retire. Even after struggling during the 2012-2013 season with numerous injuries, Puyol never allowed that to be a deterrent to his success on the field. He is one of the all-time great centre-halves. Not the fastest or strongest, but he always knows where to position himself, has an unrivaled fighting spirit, and is powerful in the air regardless of average height on both sides of the field. Number 7. Iker Casillas. Alvaro Arbeloa, a teammate of Casillas, accidentally booted Casillas' hand while attempting to clear a ball from the area. Casillas was in apparent and acute discomfort. Casillas had a fracture at the base of his first metacarpal or thumb, according to X-rays. Even with the injury, he came back strong. In a team full of stars and good goalkeepers, he was the first captain. His leadership was likely important in forging unity and harmony in a team that included not just stars, but also club rivals during a particularly tense period between Barca and Madrid. Number 6. Eric Abidal. Eric Abidal battled liver disease to continue his playing career at the highest level with Barcelona while suffering from a potentially fatal illness rather than a typical injury. The French defender had surgery to remove a tumour in March 2011, but he was back on the field in time to play 90 minutes of that season's Champions League final against Manchester United in May. A year later, the defender needed a liver transplant, and fellow Barcelona player Dani Alves notably offered to be the donor. Abidal was back in training 9 months after the operation and returned to the field before the end of the 2012-2013 season. Abidal subsequently played a full season for Monaco in 2013-2014 and a half season for Olympiacos in 2014-2015 before retiring at the age of 35. Number 5. Petr Cech. Petr Cech was not only in danger of losing his career after colliding with Reading's Stephen Hunt in 2006, he was also in danger of losing his life after the brutal impact left the then Chelsea goalkeeper with a depressed skull fracture. It makes his rise to the top all the more amazing. Even now, he cannot recall the events and cannot remember anything for almost 4 days following the incident. But Cech went back on the field 3 months later and spent no time re-establishing himself as one of the world's greatest goalkeepers. He broke the Premier League's all-time clean sheet record in 2015 after joining Arsenal, and is widely regarded as one of English football's finest ever foreign acquisitions. Number 4. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ruud van Nistelrooy was supposed to become Manchester United's record signing in the summer of 2000, but the deal was put off due to knee problems. A day later, the striker damaged his cruciate ligaments during a PSV training session, putting him out for several months. A year later, United's bet on Van Nistelrooy's fitness. His career had been restored by legendary surgeon Dr. Richard Stedman and completed the move for £19.5 million. The gamble paid off, and the reigning English champs struck gold. On his Premier League debut, the Dutchman scored twice and concluded his first season with 36 goals in all competitions. He subsequently scored 44 times in the 2002-2003 season, which is still second in club history for goals scored in a single season, and finished with 150 at United before joining Real Madrid in 2006 and winning consecutive La Liga titles. Number 3. Henrik Larsson. After scoring 54 goals in his first 107 games for Celtic, Henrik Larsson's future was jeopardized when he broke his leg in 2 places during a UEFA Cup game in October 1999. The Swede made his comeback on the final day of the 1999-2000 season, and what happened after that was incredible. Larsson went on to have the most productive season of his career the following year, scoring 53 goals in 50 games and winning the European Golden Shoe for his 35 Scottish Premier League goals. He scored 120 goals in 3 more seasons for Celtic between 2001 and 2004, before establishing his worth at the greatest level for Barcelona, with a significant effect in the 2006 Champions League final, as well as a brief but memorable stint at Manchester United. Number 2. Alan Shearer. But had it not been for 3 catastrophic injuries that occurred several years apart, one can only conjecture how many more goals Alan Shearer could have scored in a spectacular career that saw him become the Premier League and Newcastle's all-time leading striker. Shearer's first big setback was in December 1992, when he sustained knee ligament damage. He recovered to score 108 goals for Blackburn in the 3 seasons that followed, even winning the Premier League title for the Lancaster club in 1994 and 5. He later injured ankle ligaments in the summer of 1997 after joining Newcastle a year before, and missed more than half of the 97-98 season. Shearer was back among the goals when he returned to fitness, although he missed a lot of 2000 and 2001 before scoring freely again after Dr. Richard Stedman saved his career. Number 1. Ronaldo. Ronaldo is another player who credits Dr. Richard Stedman with saving his career after numerous catastrophic knee injuries threatened to destroy one of the greatest talents in world football history. The spectacular Brazilian had his initial problems when still a teenager at PSV Eindhoven, but he recovered after missing much of 95 and 96 to justify Barcelona paying him the most money in the world, scoring 47 goals in 49 outings for the Catalan Giants. True miracles, however, occurred during his time at Inter. Ronaldo was forced to miss the better part of 3 years beginning in 1999, yet he still made Brazil's World Cup roster in 2002. Unbelievably, he sprung back into life, scoring 8 goals in the finals as Brazil won the World Cup, while also exercising his own personal demons from the 1998 event. Ronaldo went on to score 85 goals in the next 3 seasons with Real Madrid, becoming the World Cup's all-time leading goal scorer in 2006, a record until Miroslav Klose broke it in 2014. Do you think these players will be able to survive in today's football after those injuries? Leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. That will be all for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so you get an update whenever we upload a video. Thank you.